I have some video for you that's absolutely incredible from an interview that Kyle Clark, the local Colorado news anchor that we've talked about in the past, conducted with Republican Representative Ryan Armagost. He's a state rep, and he is supportive of and advocating on behalf of an attempt to impeach the Democratic State Secretary of State, Jena Griswold. And I'll explain why. But in this interview, Kyle Clark just easily, casually dismantles Ryan Armagost's argument, and Armagost just crumbles before our very eyes as he tries to explain why this very illogical action's logical. So what is he doing? Well, he and his Republican allies are trying to work in the interest of Donald Trump to punish Jena Griswold for her support of the effort to disqualify Trump from the ballot. As we covered a lot when that was in the news, the Colorado Supreme Court, based on a lawsuit that was brought by Republican and uncommitted voters, did decide that Trump should be disqualified from the primary ballot because of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, stating that if while previously in office someone engaged in insurrection or gave aid or comfort to insurrectionists, something Trump obviously did, then they shouldn't be allowed to hold office in the future. And so Trump was disqualified, but then the U.S. Supreme Court overturned that when it was appealed. And so Trump was on the primary ballot. So they're trying to impeach Jena Griswold for being supportive of, not responsible for, but supportive of an effort to disqualify Trump from the ballot, even though all along she said, well, I believe Trump is an insurrectionist and this applies to Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. I'll do whatever the courts decide. And she did. Her office as the top election official, she oversaw Trump's presence on the ballot in this primary election that already took place. So it's a very bizarre argument being made from Republicans, but because she dared to speak out against Trump as a Democrat, as a political figure, as she's allowed to do, they want to impeach her. Very similar to Republicans in Washington, huh? Before playing this video, let me read some reporting. Colorado lawmakers defeat effort to impeach Secretary of State Jena Griswold. So just today, this failed, which is good to see. A Colorado House committee killed Republicans' quixotic bid to impeach Secretary of State Jena Griswold after an hours-long hearing Tuesday, dismissing allegations that Griswold should be removed for agreeing with efforts to keep Donald Trump off of the ballot because of his role in the January 6, 2021 riot. And then just take a look at how Kyle Clark very calmly, methodically dismantles the argument being made here from this Republican representative, Ryan Armagost.
What has the secretary done that qualifies as
maybe it's Armagost, one of the two.
High crimes or misdemeanors or malfeasance?
And I'm so sorry. It's so annoying when I do this, but it comes in my mind and then I'm like, oh, I have to. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So helpful. Just takes a little click, boom, and then you're supporting the work being done. Thank you.
What has the secretary done that qualifies as high crimes or misdemeanors or malfeasance?
I think the biggest reason behind this is that she's used her personal feelings and accusations to have a candidate removed from the primary ballot.
Did she have him removed from the primary ballot?
No, but she was behind the effort that went through Colorado Supreme Court and then up to the U.S. Supreme Court where it was ruled down.
So, in actuality, there were Republicans and unaffiliated voters who were anti-Trump, who sued to get Trump off the ballot. She was the one who was being sued, and then she complied with the court order. What did she do in there that warrants impeachment for high crimes, misdemeanors, or malfeasance?
Using her public and professional position to push that forward and promote it on a daily basis.
So therefore, what you're alleging is malfeasance for her stating her feelings about a court case?
Yes, essentially dereliction of her duty.
Okay.
You can tell this Armagost person with the gun lapel pin, he feels defeated himself. As he's getting asked these questions, he's like, I don't know. I don't know why we're doing this. It's yeah, I guess she kicked Trump off the ballot. Oh, so did she kick him off the ballot? No, not technically, but she said she wanted him to be kicked off the ballot. So she complied when the court said that he's going to be on the ballot, right? Yeah, but God, it was so annoying. And you'll notice he'll go on to admit what this is really about.
Is feelings a grounds for impeachment?
No, absolutely not.
Are you and other Republicans perhaps playing a dangerous game if you lower the bar for impeachment to just vibes?
No, not at all. This is a building where we're elected on partisan levels to argue and debate topics based on partisan politics. And the position of Secretary of State, where you are conducting and leading and protecting free and fair elections, bringing personal feelings and political agenda into that does not present any kind of free and fair elections to the people of Colorado.
Let me pose the devil's advocate question. That person might say there's absolutely no grounds for impeachment, that y'all just need something to show for the fact that you guys are up here taking it day after day because you have a super minority, you can't really do anything.
This is something that we can say we're doing this, even though it might not be successful in the House. Our constituents can see we did it, but we can't do anything based on being the super minority. And that can also hopefully help us in the next election cycle.
Wait, you didn't just say you're impeaching her because it'll help you in the next election cycle.
No, I think this will get more people to come to vote so that we can get more people voting for what they think is right, knowing that they have people standing up in office for them. They need to get more people in office standing up for them.
Did you just say the quiet part out loud?
What's that?
Did you just say the quiet part out loud?
The quiet part out loud.
We'll move on.
Oh, it's brutal. Kyle Clark, that was wonderful, but brutal. He goes, so are you just doing this? Let's be honest, Ryan. Come on. We're just a couple of guys here. Let's be real. Ignore the cameras, okay? Just between you and me. Is this about just getting more Republicans elected by pretending like you're doing something when you actually aren't doing anything to help the citizens that you work for? No. This is about doing something so that it looks like we're doing something so that more people vote for us in the election. What are you saying? You're just trying to win this? This is just about winning your own election? No. Sorry. To get more people to go vote for the right people, which is us. Strange. Accusing Jenna Griswold of acting improperly with her office for political purposes while doing just that in trying to motivate your base to be excited to vote for you by using your authority to impeach, or at least trying to, as a political weapon, again, to motivate the base. Just incredible job there by Kyle Clark. And isn't it interesting that the lack of a commitment to serious governance that we see at the federal level from elected Republicans is trickling itself all the way down to the state level, and it's been there for some time. And they're doing very similar stunts. Very similar behavior is being exhibited by those at the state level, which makes sense. And this is an effort to help Trump and to show that they're loyal to him and to make Republican voters in Colorado excited about Ryan Armagost for the actions that he's taking in defending Donald Trump. And it's so brazen and it's so similar to the national Republicans that we spend more time talking about. And this is why I say, as long as the MAGA ideology is controlling much of or the Republican Party, then we have to just reject Republicans, because otherwise you're giving permission to more moderate Republicans, more reasonable Republicans to allow for that sort of ideology to be so powerful in their party. And we have to say the entire GOP is going to be electorally not viable until somehow, y'all are going to have to figure that out, but somehow you get this policyless, unserious about governance, conspiracy theory filled, election denying movement out of your party. And until then, we're going to vote against your entire party. We're going to send a loud, clear message down the ballot, all the way to these state races, local races, that we want this ideology to not be at all politically relevant. Then we'll consider voting for the party again. Maybe not me so much, but some people might. We'll see. And then I will say this idea that Jenna Griswold voicing her support for the disqualifying of Trump all the while saying that she will absolutely abide by the court rulings, the lawful court rulings. And if it says Trump has to be on the ballot, as it did, then she will oversee that in the election. That somehow is her using her office inappropriately. She's also a political figure. She has her freedom of speech right to say what she believes about this subject. And as long as that doesn't interfere with her executing the law properly and overseeing these elections properly, then that's perfectly acceptable. And we see tons of state secretaries of state making political statements. And so it's an absurd and inconsistent action being taken here, because they would never do such a thing to a Republican Secretary of State. I'll leave it there. Like I said earlier, make sure you're subscribed and let me know what you thought of all that in the comments.